Hello students, welcome to the session on RDBMS. In our previous lecture, we have seen what are the functionalities of your DBMS. In that, we have discussed about the data dictionary management, and then data storage management, and then data transmission and presentation, and remaining functions that we are going to discuss in our today's session. Okay, what do you mean by the DBMS? DBMS stands for what? Database Management System. Okay, it may be a software, or else in other words, we can say that database management is a set of or else collection of programs which is used to handle your databases, which will define, which will create, which will manipulate, insert, delete, update, whatever the things that you want to do, you people will be doing with the help of DBMS. In that, the first functionality that we have seen is data dictionary. Relationship among your data, as well as what kind of data that you are going to store, what is the structure that you are going to use, all the things will be maintained by your data dictionary, so that the separate program will not be required for maintaining the relationship between your databases, or else the data, I can say. Why? Because database is a collection of interrelated data. Those relations should be maintained, that will be taken care by your data dictionary management. Okay, and data storage management we have seen, and users perspective, where we are storing the data, how we are storing the data, and physical perspective view we have seen, and the data transmission and presentation we have seen. In our today's session, we are going to discuss the first functionality of your DBMS is your security management. When we are talking about the security, you people might have understood the topic that we are going to discuss. Means to say that in this particular functionality, your DBMS will take care of authentication of the users. What it is going to take care? Authentication of users. Means to say that authorized people should only access your database, unauthorized people should not access the database. Why? Because your organization will be maintaining a confidential data. Confidential data means secret data about your organization. If it is stolen by someone, then they can lead their projects, and they can take your projects also into their company in order to grow. Okay, in order to not happen that, we are providing the security by using the database management database management system by providing the authentication. How do you provide the authentication? Your people will be giving the privileges up to what we can access the data. So consider if you people are having organization, then there will be a chairman, then there will be a manager, then there will be an employee, then there will be a daily laborers. Okay, so everyone will not be having the same access to the database. So your company will be having the same database where you people will be maintaining the data, but daily labor will not have any access, and employee will be having up to some extent, and manager will be having some restriction towards the data. Chairman can view all the data which is having within the organization. Why? Because he is the ultimate person who is going to take the decision. Such kind of things will be maintained and covered in the functionalities like security management, where you people can provide the security to your databases. Why? Because when there are multiple users, in order to access your database, there should be some authentication, there should be some level of access. Those can be given by your security management. Okay, and now the next one that we are having is your backup and recovery. See, what is the backup? These words are very familiar to you people. Why? Because you people are using the mobile now. In your mobile, you people will be having backup as well as recovery. We people will create the backup of our files. So whenever we are losing our mobile, whenever we are losing our data, or else whenever we are losing our devices, then again when we are buying one more device, we can back up our data. Okay, how it will be done? We will be creating the copies. We will be having some data which is backed up, and when we want to retrieve that data, when we want to have that data within our devices, then we will be recovering it from the backups. Okay, those options will be provided by your DBMS, I can say. So it is very helpful when we are losing our data. Say suppose if you are maintaining the details in a paper, when you are maintaining the details in a manual database management system, then the loss of data will be for permanent. But when you are doing with the help of database management system, even if you are losing the data also, that is for temporary. You can retrieve, you can recover the data, you can create the backup for your existing data so that your data will be in safer hands. Okay, and that is what the backup and recovery. For this, there will be no big example. So consider if you are having photos that you are storing in your device. Okay, automatically you people will be linking with your Google Photos, where they will be having backend, right? Backup. They will be creating a backup. Okay, even for your contacts also we will be attaching to our mail, so that backup of your contacts will be there. Whenever you are buying a new device, then you can directly recover them from your mail. Okay, Google Photos. Okay, like that. That is one of the best example. Okay, and the next one is data integrity management. What is the integrity? I can say is, when you want to have accurate information within your database, then we need to integrate our data. We need to put some restriction towards our data. Consider in your database, if you are going to store the applicant details, those who are applying for the job. When they are applying for the job, age of the applicant should be more than 18 and less than some say 30. So those who are applying for that particular job, they should be having 18 and more than 18, and they should be their age should be less than 30 years. Then when you are filling the age column, then you people will be putting this restriction. If he is having that particular age, then only he can attend that particular competitive examination. Like that. Okay. Else simply I can say that if you are having an account at the bank, so minimum amount of your account is 0. It should not have any minus values. You can put some money into your account, you can take it, or else you people will be having 0 amount in your account. You should not provide us -1, -2. They won't credit you people know in your saving account. So you people have minimum balance as your 0. Okay, that is what the data integrity is. That will be provided by your database management system. That is what the functionality is. Okay, and the next one is database access languages and application programming interface. See ma, these particular databases will be created by non-procedural languages like structured query language. SQL can be utilized. Non-procedural language. In order to create, in order to manipulate, we will be using the non-procedural languages. But you people will be developing the application programs by using C, C++, COBOL and other programming languages. Okay, you people will be using these particular programming languages in order to develop the programs. So those programs will also access what your database. So you need to create the application program interfaces for accessing the database. Those will be taken care by our database management system. I hope it is clear. Right. And after that, you see you are having database communication interface. See here also we are having interface term. Here also we are having interface term. They are talking about the programs in the previous step. Now they are talking about the interfaces in which we can access the database. See, it doesn't matter what device you are using. Okay, it doesn't matter what application you are using. But when you are requesting for the data, you should access that particular database. Consider I am having Android mobile. Android mobile. Everyone will not be having an Android mobile now. You people may have Apple, that is having iOS. Some people are watching this video on a laptop. Some people will be using some other devices. So see here, by using this different kind of system, I will be using different applications also. See, I will be using what? Google Chrome browser, and he will be using some Opera Mini browser. He will be having some other browsers. By using these applications, we are requesting for a database called Google. So when I am typing that, we are creating a flexible interfaces. Whatever the browsers that you want to use, you can use. But we will be having an interface in which we will be communicating our databases. Those will be taken care by whom? Your database management system. so that whatever the browsers, whatever the application at the end side you want to use, you can use. We will be creating an interface so that it can be retrieving the data from the database and it will be provided to you. And the next one is transaction management. We will be discussing this particular point in detail when we are going for the 4th unit. But in a short form, I will be telling you people what is a transaction. Simply, when you are going for a bank, you people will be depositing or else you people will be withdrawing the amount. Those things will be done with the help of your database only. So consider if you are doing the transaction with Google Pay or else Phone Pay. You people will transfer the data, you won't give the money. Okay, say consider if I am transferring 3,000 to my friend. What I am doing? Physically I am not exchanging the currency. What I am doing? I am requesting for the data update that you should deduct 3,000 from my account and it should be credited to my friend. That is what the transaction. How those particular transactions will be maintained is by using your database management system. Okay, one account will be accessed by one user at a time, and sometimes only that particular account will also be requested by some other person also. For example, if I am sitting at my home, if I am using Google Pay in order to transact my currency, okay, but at the same time my brother is going to bank in order to deposit the amount in my account, then see, he is also using my account details, I am also using my account details. In order to transact my amount, I am sitting at home. In order to deposit the amount, he is going at bank. At the same time, they are doing the transaction. How those transactions will be maintained, that will be taken care by our database management system. We will be having lot of issues and lot of routing, lot of algorithms in order to handle the transaction management, and also we will be having lot of algorithms in order to handle the backups and recovery. Okay, those we will be discussing when it comes into the syllabus. Okay, detailed description will not be there for you people. There's few things we will be discussing according to the syllabus. Every time I will be telling you people only one thing, that by completing your syllabus you should not say that I have learned everything. Why? Because you are learning your syllabus only, you are not completing the course. Okay, these are the functions of your DBMS. Okay, I hope these are very clear to you people. If there is any doubt, just let me know by your messages so that I can clarify and I will go for the further class. That's it for now. See you in the next one.